Welcome to this episode of Q&A with Liturgy Man. I'm Taylor Burton-Edwards, Liturgy Man with Discipleship Ministries of the United Methodist Church. I'm your apportionment dollars at work to help you strengthen worship and the understanding of worship where you are. Today's question is one I've already gotten several times this month of June, as we are in the middle not just of annual conference season, but also wedding season. The question is, who may preside at weddings in the United Methodist Church? The basic answer to that question is the appointed pastor or other clergy of your congregation are the presumed and responsible persons to preside and to make all decisions about presiding in weddings conducted as part of the ministry of the United Methodist Church. So, we often get questions about, can a certified lay minister preside? And the answer to that is no. Certified lay ministers are not clergy, they're not appointed, they're not authorized to preside. Can I invite my former pastor to come back and do this wedding? The answer is you can make that invitation, but it is not definitive. What needs to happen is talk to your appointed pastor first. And then there might be a conversation between your appointed pastor and the person you would like to be part of your wedding. And together, at the discretion of the appointed pastor, they will work out the arrangements about whether that can happen, and if so, how that will take place. Why do we have that kind of provision that the appointed pastor is the one who calls the shots, rather than the couple naming who they really want to preside and making that the case in each local church? Well, it's because in our system, the appointed pastor is the pastor. And because we have a process of sending pastors rather than calling pastors, it's important that the person who is sent is understood to be the pastor indeed. And the pastor who is indeed the pastor is the one who would be making those calls for all persons related to the ministry of that congregation. Now, there are some other cases of persons who are authorized to preside in a variety of settings. For example, I'm a person in extension ministry, and if what I'm being asked to do in terms of presiding at a wedding service is not related to a United Methodist congregation in any way, or doesn't involve United Methodist people in it, then I'm free to, as an ordained elder, to go ahead and do that. If I were a local pastor, however, in extension ministry, I might need additional authorization from the bishop or the DS to be able to preside in that instance. If I am a deacon, just like a person in extension ministry can preside in those kinds of situations, an ordained deacon may do so as well. A person who's in provisional relationship has similar limitations to those who are licensed local pastors. That is, authorization to preside is limited to the context, the specific context of the ministry to which these persons are appointed. So again, the basic answer to the question of who may preside at weddings, the appointed clergy of that congregation, if you're looking at a congregational context, and occasionally others. But if you're inviting somebody who is not your appointed clergy at the time to preside at a wedding, the process is you work with the appointed pastor and recognize it's ultimately the decision of that pastor or other clergy who are involved, could be a deacon as well, to make the call about who will in fact be involved in that service. Hope this has been helpful. Remember, you can always contact me, worship@liturgyfolks.com, through the UMC Worship Facebook group, or drop a line on this page. And perhaps your question or comment will become the basis for a future episode of Q&A with Liturgy Man. The peace of Christ be always with you.